In an 1889 essay, Oscar Wilde declared, "Life imitates art far more than art imitates life." So in this video, we're going to take a look at the other side of this expression and see how art is important, not just because it can imitate or capture life and its cultural values, but it's important because it directly shapes and influences life. So I wanted to introduce you to R.J. Collingwood, who was this 20th century English philosopher known for his kind of aesthetic theories. And like Oscar Wilde, Collingwood saw how art shaped culture. But he also recognized that it did so inconspicuously. He said civilizations die and are born not with the waving of flags and the noise of machine guns in the street, but in the dark, in a stillness, when no one's aware of it. It never gets into the papers, and long afterwards, a few people, looking back, begin to see what has happened. So Collingwood recognized that art was powerful because it had a way of getting in the back door and slowly influencing a culture without being too overt or heavy-handed. And that's why I think that artists can influence culture in ways that other disciplines cannot. I mean, think about it. Like, politics regulates culture, but art shapes it. And Collingwood would go on to say that artists shape culture in a variety of ways. And he actually unpacks two different types of art, what he terms amusement art and magic art. And so to Collingwood, amusement art is the feel-good, escape from reality kind of art. It's the no-stakes kind of fictional world that you can watch on Netflix after a stressful day. And I think that we all engage in art at this level, and we want to, you know? And so, I don't know, think about it. For you, what is your amusement art? What's your comfortable armchair that you fall into after a stressful day? And so I wanted to ask that question, and really, I guess before you ponder too much on that, I also wanted to introduce another type of art that Collingwood labels as magic art. And so to him, magic art is the kind of art that changes the way we interact with the world. You know, once we encounter this art, our world is never the same afterwards. And really, when you study the history of art, you see that art has the power to do that. You know, art has the power to completely change the trajectory of history. And so Collingwood uses the example of Uncle Tom's Cabin because we can see how this is a work of literary art that really changed the national mindset of how people viewed slavery. And so we can see this historically, but we can also see magic art maybe in our own experiences, you know? Going off of Uncle Tom's Cabin, I'm putting up a film here that served as magic art to me on this topic. This is Steve McQueen's film, 12 Years a Slave. I don't know if you've seen it, but I know when I saw it, it completely wrecked me. You know, I sobbed through the whole thing, and I'll be honest, I never thought of slavery the same way again. I never saw a bar of soap the same way again. And so but I've also had these kind of encounters with paintings and sculptures, you know, that have had a similar kind of profound effect on me. And that's because art has a way of changing the way we see things. And I'll admit, sometimes the lines are a little blurred between amusement art and magic art. For example, like, I love the movie Groundhog Day. Have you seen it? It's a funny movie with Bill Murray. But, you know, the more I watch it, the more I've come to appreciate just the deep symbolism. And there's actually been all these books written about it. And so, maybe there's an example for you that is able to hit kind of both boxes of amusement art and magic art. But I do want you to reflect on these two different kinds of art that Collingwood puts forward, the amusement art and a magic art. And maybe even write out a list of art forms that hit maybe that amusement art category, this feel good kind of escape from reality types of works. And then also consider works that have served to you as magic art in your life. So think about that. What's been an encounter with art that has forever changed your life? So give that some thought. There's actually more to say about art and how it can change humanity. But I think before we move on into that topic, I do want to kind of slow down and assess with how we see this happening and how we've seen this happening in our own encounters.